Okay, let's do this. So let me share my screen.
Okay.
Can you see my screen?
Yes. Yep.
Perfect. So I'm already logged into the wizard, I guess, because you wanted to see a really specific functionality of a bank account, how to create, assign, update bank accounts.
Yes.
Correct? Okay. So let's jump into this straight away. So the first thing I wanted to show you is the Supplier Wizard setup ribbon. On this ribbon, you have multiple options here. One of them is the create banks and branches. So this one need to be activated if you want to create banks and branches. If you want to only create bank accounts for one specific supplier site or supplier, you don't need to activate this option. But if you want to also create the bank and the branch with the account, then you need to activate. So basically just clicking on this and it will be highlighted.
Okay. I'm in my wizard, and it looks like mine, for that button, mine says manage banks / branches. Is there a difference between the manage versus create?
Oh, you don't have create on yours?
No, it says manage banks / branches, and it's in the same exact location that you're showing.
Oh, that's interesting. That might be a restriction that you have on yours, I would say, because
It does say allows you to create and update banks and branches.
oh, okay. So it's just a different name. Maybe I have a brand new version and you have just a bit older one. I have a 5.0.11 version.
5.02.
You have 5.02?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, that's the opposite. You have a more recent version than me, and maybe they just changed the name of this this option here. So
Okay.
I think you do not have to worry about this.
Okay, thank you.
Perfect. So the first thing you might want to do when you want to create, assign, or update bank accounts is to download your supplier. It's the first thing I usually advise people to do. So to do this, we're going to use the download form. And we're going to download the suppliers created today. So to do this, I just enter this criteria, the creation date, and then I put a percentage to get all the suppliers. So I have only one, and I will use the arrow to move it here and download this supplier only. And then today we're going to take a look how to assign an existing account to a supplier, then also how to create a new bank account, but also bank and branch.
Okay.
And then how to update an existing one. So let's start with the assignment. So sometime you just want to assign an existing bank, branch, and account to a different supplier site. So to do this, let's say you want to assign the same bank account that you have here. Let me close this. You want to assign this bank account. So you have all the information already. You can just copy paste this information on a different site. So we have the New York, the supplier site based in New York, the one based in Orange County in California. We would like them to share the same bank account. So if this is the case, we can just copy paste this information. And then let's bring up the user form if we want to have a closer look to the setup of this account. I will go to the site tab. For this supplier, I have multiple sites. So this is the Manhattan site, I'm going to go on the site number 2, which is Orange County, the one I want to add to assign a brand new bank account. So I go on here. I have copy-paste the information on the sheet already, so I have all of this pre-filled. I just need to take a look at this. So if I want to assign an existing bank account to a different supplier site, I can just copy-paste the information as I did. The only thing I need to be careful about is the assignment ID. I want to delete this information because it's going to create a brand new assignment ID for this supplier site. So when we assign an existing bank account to a different supplier site, it's going to create a new assignment ID. So
Okay.
I just want to delete this.
Oracle fills in that field, the assignment ID, or when
Yes.
it's loaded?
Yes.
Okay.
During assignment, it will create this assignment ID.
Okay.
And then next thing I want to do is choose an upload action here. So in this case, I don't want to create a new bank, branch, or account. All of this already exists in my Oracle instance. I just want to assign an existing bank, branch, and account to a different supplier site. So I will choose assign in this case. So it will assign this existing bank account to this site here, the Orange County site, which has no bank account right now. So this is the first thing here. So then I close this, and then I can either validate only if I'm not really sure of what I entered, or I can validate and upload if I'm pretty sure everything is okay. And if it's not anyway, it won't upload to Oracle because the wizard always validates before uploading. So I'm going to upload the selection, so only this row, in order to create this, to assign this bank account to our Orange County. So here in this column, site bank account status, we have loaded here. You can see warning on over sections and over rows because it's telling you no update mode, section will not be processed. So it didn't do anything on the over part of the supplier.
Okay.
It only assigned this bank account to this address. So now let's take a look at another example for the Australia site. So let's say I'm going to bring up the user form again to show you something. I'm going to go on this site number 3, which is in Australia. And then I'm going to go on the site bank account. This is empty. There is no bank account for this supplier site. I would like to either assign an existing bank account or create a new one. I'm not really sure if there is a bank already for this particular place. So let's say I know the bank. I know the bank is HSBC. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to search for this bank name first to search to see if it exists in my Oracle instance. So if it does, I don't want to create a new one, of course. So here it's telling me that there is already a bank. So I'm going to choose this one. Then I'm going to search for HSBC for this particular branch. I would like to check. I'm going to put a percentage to see if it exists. It does not. So I would like to create this new branch.
Okay.
Because I just searched for it using the 3 dots and there is no HSBC Australia South. I could maybe do this in case there is something which is really close, but no, there is only HSBC Australia, but I would like this branch to be HSBC Australia South because this is what I received from the supplier. So I'm going to create this new branch name. And then I will put the bank account number that the supplier has provided. And then there is just a few other fields that are usually mandatory. Depends on your Oracle setup, but on mine, I think those are mandatory. And here I can, it's not mandatory, but I'm gonna put the same name for this account name. And then I can put also a start date. And that's about it. That's, I think, all what is necessary. Also, in the yellow fields here have to be entered. So I can say I want this bank account to be created at the address level or site level. I will choose site. And so let's take a look at the upload action now. In this case, I don't want to assign an existing bank branch an account because my branch does not exist, my account does not exist, so I'm not going to use assign, I'm going to use create. I'm going to create a brand new branch and brand new account for this supplier site. And then when we have everything good, we can just close. And we're going to be able to create we're going to create only this bank account. And as you can see, when we create the bank account, after uploading the information in Oracle, we get the account ID back on the spreadsheet and also the assignment ID. So it created a brand new assignment and account ID.
Okay.
So we got all of this back on the sheet. And we get loaded status in here, so we know that this bank account has been created. So again, to be able to do this, to be able to create a new branch or a new bank, you need this to be activated. If not, you will be able to only create bank accounts. So you can only create this part, the account number, but you won't be able to create a brand new branch or a brand new bank.
Okay.
So to be able to do everything, you need to activate this option.
Okay. I do have a question. When I'm looking in my form, or when I click into a supplier, I see a couple different tabs for the bank account. So I see a tab called just supplier bank account, and then the other tab, which is the one you were on, which is called site bank account. What is the difference between those, and where, I guess, does it matter where the bank account information is loaded?
So I guess it really depends on your company process, business process. So I have seen companies that are putting the bank account at the supplier level. So they know that they will have the same bank account for all their sites, the sites in New York, the site in Newport Beach or Melbourne, Australia. But of course, when you have when you have suppliers that are all around the world, usually they have different bank accounts for the different sites that they have. So yeah, if it's a worldwide company, usually you want to put the bank account information at the site level, like I did here.
Oh,
but
okay.
in Oracle, you can do both. You can assign at the supplier level, or you can assign at the site level.
Okay.
As you can see here, I've not even included the bank account at the supplier level.
Right. Okay, so that's why you can't see it. And when I go in here, or why it's not on this form, but when I'm looking at mine, I haven't removed any of the columns yet. So I have the supplier bank account, and then the site bank account is a separate.
Okay. Today, do you create those at the supplier level or at the site level? Your banks?
I'm not actually, I don't know if we have any supplier banks existing in Oracle today.
Oh, okay.
Very few. We are paying mostly with check today. So this is, we are going to be starting to pay with ACH more. So I'm sure we have a few, but I'm not exactly familiar. I'll have to check with our accounts payable team, because I'm not exactly sure which level they exist at today.
Okay, no worries. So then also the other example I wanted to show you is how to update an existing bank account. So for instance, on the New York supplier site here, we have a bank account already existing that we have been created a few days ago. Actually today, we might want to work on I'm not sure we can end date a side bank account that has been created today, but we can definitely work on an existing bank account that has been existing for a longer time. Like this one here has been created last week, and we would like to end date this bank account. So in order to do this, we will just put the end date on this row. We can also put the assignment end date. It depends on your business process. Some people do both. And then on the upload action column here, you want to put update so that it will update this specific bank account. And then again, you will upload the selection. So you can update a few things, not many things in the bank account section, but you can definitely, one of the most common is to end date your current bank account. Because yeah, you want to create a new one and you don't want people to use this old bank account that is not the good one. So usually people are doing this a lot, end dating.
Okay. And then for that particular supplier, after you update and end date it like that, you probably would either assign or create a new bank account for that supplier?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So you will just do the same thing we did before. You can, again, bring up the user form, go on this. So this one is not valid, but then you can click on the three dots here to add a new one, or you can just insert a new row on your workbook and do exactly the same. And then you will, again, create or assign. So usually I don't put create or assign in the beginning. First, I search for my information. I just want to make sure that I'm not creating a bank name that already exists. And actually, you will have an error if you try to do this. So
Okay.
in here, if you are trying to do, you can search for your bank first. And we can create also a new bank if we want. So like, for instance, we can create a HSBC bank in the New York State. So here, this one did not exist, so I'm creating a new one. And then again, we can do the same with a branch. I'm pretty sure this does not exist, but I'm going to search using the three dots. It does not exist, so I'm creating this new one. And then, so here I'm creating everything. I'm creating bank, branch, and account. And then I need to put the branch type, the bank account type, and then the start date. And then I'm going to choose create in this case because I want to create a brand new branch and bank and account. So usually when you start using a functionality in our wizard, you can bring up the user form to make sure like everything is clear. But then what I usually do is download existing data and just imitate an existing setup on a different supplier site and just imitate to create a new one. That then you don't have to bring the user form all the time as I'm doing right now.
Sure, yeah, you can just do it from this, directly from the Excel.
Exactly, inserting a row. So what I did, remember when I was on the user form, I click on the dots to add a new bank on this particular site, and it actually inserted a new row on my workbook doing this.
Okay.
So you can do both. You can do this by the user form, or just inserting a row, copy pasting, and just changing the information you have, because usually there's not much to enter. What will maybe change from one supplier site to the other is the bank name, branch name, and the type. You can usually reuse the currency. And so yeah, you can easily imitate an existing setup, right?
Sure, yep. So I do have a question on specifically on the create, and if we say we have 4 suppliers that all use HSBC Bank, and we are creating, well, in that case, if the bank was already set up, we would want to use the assign.
Correct.
And we typed it in here, it would have to match exactly. So if we used this Excel template instead of the form, we would just have to make sure that whatever is being keyed into this form matches exactly the formatting of how that bank is set up. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah, that's why you want to start with searching for an existing bank to see if it exists. Then if you see a different formatting, but the one that has been created in the past, the HSBC bank created in the past, is not the right format, you think, you won't be able to update the former bank name. You see what I mean? It's with this tool you can create new bank branches, but you can't do maintenance on the format of an existing bank and branch, right?
So you cannot do, so any bank changes to an existing bank, you cannot make those changes. That would have to be made within the actual Oracle form.
Yes, or we have a loader which is called Bank and Branches loader that is really specific to maintain your bank and branches. So in the case that I was mentioning here, like let's say here you have found this bank in your Oracle instance, but it's not the right format. Like there is just there is something wrong in the name, you think, and the one that already exists in your instance is not the right format compared to what you have on your paper. Then you can create a new bank with the right format, but to end date the former bank, you can't do this in the Supplier Wizard. You will be able to do this on the bank and branches loader, but not on the Supplier Wizard.
So you're only end dating that bank assignment to that supplier. You're not actually end dating the bank. If you like when we did the update function, that would be to end date just that supplier's bank, not to actually end date the bank.
Yeah, I believe so. I have a little doubt now you mentioned this. Yeah, I'm gonna check this end date to make sure it's really on the supplier.
Okay.
I don't want to say anything wrong here. Yeah, I will check on that and just come back to you on this particular point. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure to do the maintenance on the bank and branches, on the existing bank and branches, it's not with this wizard. Yeah, it's with the loader. Maybe that's what Brian was thinking about, because he mentioned the bank and branches loader in his emails last week. So maybe this is also something you would like to do.
Yeah, so on the bank and branches loader, that just is it for creation of new banks and then maintenance of existing banks pretty much?
Yes. And you can also add assignments, but the main purpose, you can assign to customers and suppliers your external bank accounts, but the main purpose of this loader is to actually create lots of banks and branches and do some maintenance on them.
Okay, so you can use that to assign to suppliers though as well?
Yes, there is a column to do this. I can show you real quick what it looks like. Hmm. So this is the bank and branches loader.
Okay.
So yeah, you're focused on like the sanctions are bank branches, then branch address accounts. And you also have a section with account assignments. And this is where you would enter your customer name or your supplier name. So this is quite basic, the assignment section here.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to only do this, like create banks, branches, accounts, and assign to a supplier, yeah, you would use this tool.
Okay.
But I'm gonna check, going back to the Supplier Wizard, I'm just gonna check this particular point. If I end date using this column here, does this end date only on the supplier, but or also on the bank? I just want to make sure of that.
Yeah, okay.
I would say it end date the account, but not more than this.
The account on the supplier, but not the account overall. So you still could assign that bank and branch to another supplier.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Okay. So I'm just trying to, and I'll have to probably process this, but just trying to figure out what the best tool would be to do this. So what we're trying to do is create new banks and branches and assign them to our suppliers for the purposes of ACH payments.
Uh-huh.
I guess I don't know if I see the benefit of the banks and branches loader if I can do it directly from the Supplier Wizard. But then if there's any maintenance on and any banks, it would require actually going into the Oracle form to make those updates.
Mm-hmm. Like here, changing the bank name,
Mm-hmm.
or inactivate the bank or branch. This is definitely something you would like to do with the loader, because this is our main purpose, our main functionality in the bank and branches loader is to do maintenance on the bank and branches. If it's only to create new bank branches on suppliers, you can perfectly do this using the Supplier Wizard. But if you want to do maintenance, delete some banks or inactivate some banks, change the names because you think the name that has been created is not is wrong, then you can do this using the loader.
Gotcha. Okay.
And if you want me to do a demo of a bank and branches loader another time, maybe when also Brian is available, yeah, I can do that.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. I will take a look at all of this, like I said, and look at trying to set up a few in our test system.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, and then I'll discuss with the team, and we may be reaching out to you